On Christmas Eve, I was standing in the living room, holding my breath as my father's voice thundered across the house. His face was red, his fists clenched, and his words cut sharper than any knife. "Why can't you be more like your sister?" he shouted, as if the walls themselves needed to hear how much of a failure I was in his eyes. "She sends us money every month for our bills. And you're so selfish." The words stung like acid, dripping into every part of me that still craved his approval. I opened my mouth, my voice trembling as I tried to defend myself, tried to claw back some dignity. "Actually, it's me," but before I could finish, my mother snapped at me, her eyes cold and accusing. "Don't you dare take her credit. Don't you ever try to make yourself look good by stealing what your sister does for us." I froze, my throat closing. It felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. For a moment, I wanted to scream, to pound my chest, to beg them to listen. But the silence swallowed me, and in that silence was all the proof I needed. They never saw me. That night, I lay in my room staring at the ceiling. I thought about all the times I quietly made payments, keeping the lights on, the heat running, and the fridge stocked. My sister hadn't sent them money in years. I had taken on extra hours at work, skipped things I wanted, sacrificed sleep and peace just to help them. And yet, every time, they credited her. My father beamed with pride at her name, my mother gushed about her generosity, and I was left to drown in invisibility. Anger bubbled inside me, not a sudden flash, but a slow burn that had been simmering for years. My heart pounded so hard it echoed in my ears. I clenched the blanket in my fists and whispered to myself, "Tomorrow. They'll see the truth tomorrow." Christmas morning came with the smell of cinnamon and pine, the sound of laughter, and the illusion of warmth. My sister had finally decided to visit, all smiles and perfectly wrapped gifts. She walked in like a hero, soaking up every ounce of praise my parents poured onto her. "Look who's here," my father boomed proudly. "Our savior. The one who always takes care of us." She basked in it, her smirk almost daring me to contradict the lie. My chest tightened, my palms slick with sweat. I wasn't going to let the day pass like every other time. Not this time. We gathered around the tree, the glow of the lights reflecting in everyone's eyes. My father lifted his glass, ready to make a toast, already gearing up to sing my sister's praises again. My voice broke through the air before he could. "I think it's time we clear something up," I said, my voice steady though my heart raced like a runaway train. Everyone turned to me. My mother frowned, my father scowled, and my sister raised an eyebrow. "For years, you've thanked her for the money that keeps this house running. But the truth, it wasn't her. It was me. Every single payment, every month, it was me. Not once has she sent you a dime." The room went dead silent. My mother's lips parted, confusion flickering across her face. My father's expression hardened, disbelief painted in every wrinkle of his forehead. And my sister, for the first time, her perfect composure cracked. Her smile faltered, her eyes widened, and a flush spread across her cheeks. "He's lying," she stammered, her voice losing its usual smoothness. "Why would he even say that?" I pulled out the stack of receipts I had saved, the bank statements I kept hidden all this time. My hands shook as I laid them on the table, each one a silent slap of truth against the years of their ignorance. "Because I was tired of being invisible," I said, my voice low but sharp. "And because you deserve to know who's actually been keeping this family afloat." My mother picked up a paper, her hands trembling as she scanned it. Her eyes darted back and forth, realization dawning, shame creeping into her expression. My father's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. My sister's face twisted, a mix of panic and fury. "You could have just let them believe it was me," she hissed under her breath. "Why ruin everything?" I looked at her, finally meeting her eyes without fear. "Because I'm done letting you take what's mine. I've lived in your shadow long enough." The silence that followed was heavier than any argument. My parents didn't rush to defend her this time. They didn't call me selfish. They just sat there, staring at the evidence, at the truth they had ignored for so long. And for once, I didn't feel small. I didn't feel invisible. I felt free. The rest of Christmas was awkward, tense, almost suffocating. My sister tried to regain her glory, but the shine was gone. Every time she opened her mouth, my parents' eyes flicked to the papers on the table, the undeniable proof of her lies and my sacrifices. She left earlier than planned, her head low, her usual confidence shattered. My parents never apologized outright, but in the days that followed, something shifted. The constant comparisons stopped. The endless praise of her name dwindled. They began to look at me differently, not with the overflowing pride they once gave her, but with something more honest, more respectful. And me, I finally stopped chasing their validation. I realized I didn't need their applause to prove my worth. The satisfaction wasn't in their recognition, it was in exposing the truth, in tearing down the false pedestal they had built for her. The revenge wasn't loud or dramatic, it was quiet, undeniable, and permanent. She would never wear the mask of the generous savior again, not in this house, not in their eyes. Looking back, I don't regret a single second. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying someone, it's about reclaiming yourself. And on that Christmas day, I took myself back. If you've ever been blamed for something you didn't do, or had someone steal your credit while you were the one doing the work, then you know how good it feels when the truth finally comes out. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button, subscribe, and share your own satisfying revenge stories in the comments. Because sometimes, the sweetest justice is simply being seen.